Ready for the list, baby?
Yeah, let me go pull that bad boy up.
Let's get a list going. List time! We need a cool name for the list. We still don't have a... You know, we still don't have a cool thing for the list.
Yeah.
List.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah, there we go. Time to do the list. Do the list.
He's a really, really good beatboxer, dude.
That's what people tell me. All right. So for those of you who don't know, it was my choice to pick the list this year. We're actually going to have 2 Christmas lists back to back because our mandatory Christmas list is next week. Which is our top 5 best Christmas films. But today we're going to switch that baby up a little bit. I chose to do the top 5 unconventional Christmas films.
Which you already know because that's the title of the episode.
That's right. So
we still make it like a mystery every time.
We still do, yeah.
We might show up on the list later that we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
You already know what the list is.
No, that's true. So for those of you who might be confused, an unconventional Christmas film is basically like a film that might take place during Christmas but doesn't really revolve around Christmas.
It does not have anything to do with the spirit of Christmas.
Yes, but Christmas is usually like a backdrop of some kind, or maybe it's a film that has one Christmas scene that somehow sort of gets you into the spirit of Christmas and all that stuff.
There's a couple of those.
There's a couple of those. Do you have any honorable mentions on this list?
I have a couple honorable mentions.
So do I.
So, I'll let you start.
Okay, Harry Potter is my first honorable mention. Like we talked about a little bit before we started the podcast, it's directed by Chris Columbus. He did the first 2 Harry Potter films, but he also did the first 2 Home Alone films. And, you know, there's something about Harry Potter that really resonates with Christmas. Obviously, there's a Christmas scene in there. I think because there's that Christmas scene in there, and we were really young when the first Harry Potter film came out, I remembered getting a bunch of Harry Potter-themed Christmas presents. So maybe subconsciously, like, I just connect that film with Christmas. Also, I mean, Dumbledore, like, looks like Santa. They're, like, in this castle that looks kind of old and Christmassy, like, archaic sort of, you know, castle. And there's something about it that sort of screams Christmas to me. And it's a fun watch. And it's on ABC Family, like, or was it now? Freeform or whatever?
Always.
It's
always on ABC Family.
Yeah, especially during Christmas time. It's always on during Christmas time. So we're not the only ones who think that, obviously. It's very Christmas-like. So obviously the film doesn't revolve around Christmas, but I could definitely see people watching it every Christmas. So that's my first honorable mention. What about you?
Okay, my first honorable mention is... It's fantastic. Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh.
S-L-A-Y. It is so bad. It's so funny, though.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's just crazy, stupid fun. I can't remember this is how I'm going to sum it up right here. I can't remember the context of the scene very much. I think the main character was using a crucifix on Santa, he just says, "I'm Santa Claus, not fucking Dracula."
Oh, my God.
It's so dumb. But
I've heard of that film, though, actually. I think I've seen it in, like, family video, like...
Yeah, because he's on the sleigh and he's just throwing down like bombs at one point. It's like absolutely insane.
Oh my god.
So you should totally watch it.
It's like a Sharknado type thing.
It is pretty much, but for Christmas.
Oh, that's great. My next honorable mention is The Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino. Obviously, the snowy atmosphere kind of lends itself to a Christmas film, and obviously the film is very dark, but these are unconventional Christmas. This is unconventional Christmas films. This film doesn't really have Christmas in it at all, but it does have a snowy atmosphere, and it obviously takes place during winter time. So that's pretty much probably my only reasoning, in all honesty. But it kind of it can get you in the spirit because everyone's kind of gathered around the campfire as well. You know, in this cabin, and the whole cinematography and the wide vistas can kind of remind you of Christmas. So
sure,
you know, everyone's drinking like hot cocoa and shit like around the fire. I'm like, okay, cool. Like,
that makes way more sense than any of the things that I'm gonna say. So
hey man, Santa's Sleigh's made sense. So
yeah, that's about the only. This is that should have been on the list.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's your next honorable mention?
Okay, so I just have to say that I went through and kind of looked at like unconventional Christmas movie lists because I wanted to get an idea of like what people were saying and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's like a whole list on like Wikipedia of like ones, and it's like why is this? It's like, why is this a Christmas movie? Because it has like one scene. Someone would literally just say like the scene of why it could be considered a Christmas movie. And this movie showed up on one of the lists. I never in a million years thought that it felt like a Christmas movie, but if people are saying that, I don't want to not include this movie in a list because it's a great movie.
Yeah.
So it's called In Bruges.
In Bruges. I saw that. It's the same director by Seven Psychopaths, right?
Seven Psychopaths.
I didn't see that movie, but I saw the fact that people were putting it on the Christmas list.
Yeah. I mean, it's about two hitmen. They have to wait for their next assignment in Bruges. It's funny, insanely quotable film. Has multiple shifting tones. Yeah, but it really doesn't strike me as a Christmas movie. I mean, it basically just takes place during like the Christmas time, but in that like area, it doesn't even really have like snow.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I'm like, why do people even include this?
Okay,
but I just want to mention that it's
there you go. Hey,
that's why it's showing up on the honorable mentions. It's not showing up on the list.
All right, hey man. My next honorable mention is Batman Returns. I mean, that's kind of obvious. I mean, it takes place during Christmas and during, the snowy holiday. And I'm not a huge fan of Batman Returns, to be honest with you. I do enjoy it. I think it went a little too weird, in all honesty. But Tim Burton said it during Christmas, which apparently he also did with Edward Scissorhands, because that was another name that kept popping up on these lists of unconventional Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna spoil this for you guys right now. A lot of people love to put Gremlins on their list. I'm not putting Gremlins on the list because I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
I've never seen Gremlins.
I don't know. I really don't have an interest in seeing it.
Yeah,
I probably will at some point.
But I hear that's like everyone's go-to for unconventional Christmas movies. They're like, well, that and another film, which we'll get into.
And it's funny because I actually went out of my way to watch movies specifically for this list. And I should have just made that one of my choices.
Yeah. A lot of people like to say Gremlins, but I've never seen it. Anyway, Batman Returns, it has like a snowy atmosphere. It has a Christmassy atmosphere. It's very quirky, very, whatever. So I can see why people would want to watch it during Christmas. Mm-hmm. And that's it. What about you? What's your next one?
I went out of my way to watch this for the list, and it didn't even end up on the list.
Okay, but it was an honorable mention, though? Okay.
Because it doesn't really have a Christmas vibe to it. It really doesn't. The only scene in the movie is the ending, which of course the ending kind of is the first thing that I think of when I think of a movie. So when I think of it, it might work. It's
Can I guess it?
Sure.
Is it Nice Guys? Oh, okay, because Nice Guys ended with Christmas. So.
No, but that would have been a good choice because I like that movie. Yeah. No, it's Night of the Hunter.
Oh, okay, I've never seen it.
We actually just talked about it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was really good. It's, a movie about like domestic violence, I guess. Mm-hmm.
It's like Robert Meacham, right? He has like love and hate on his knuckles.
Yeah. Oh, that story is the best piece of dialogue in that movie. Mm-hmm. Is the story of life, love and hate coming together. He kind of plays this like preacher kind of guy, but he's like a very phony. Mm-hmm. And there's this man that he used to share a cell with, and he stole $10,000 so that he marries his wife to try to find out where the money is. And so it kind of follows the kids, and the kids have like they're like deathly afraid of him, and it makes sense. There's some movies today that don't even have like this drastic of like a tone for that. Yeah, it's like very, very haunting. Yeah, and for the time it was like it was not well received.
Yeah, now it's like a classic.
It's considered a classic, and he only made that one movie.
Really,
the director that movie. Was like, I don't want to make another one after this. It's like, that's so disheartening.
Was it because he loved it so much, or was it because it was so ill received?
Yes, it was because it was so ill received.
Oh, that just sucks.
That's heartbreaking.
Now, if he can just see it now, how it's become classic. My friend just saw that recently.
That's why I said we were talking about it.
And he freaking loved it. Gave it 5 stars. Like, he said it was one of the best. He put it on his top 10 in Stardust. That's how much he loved it. And
really?
I was like, yeah.
It's a great movie, and there's tons of people that love it.
Yeah.
And it does end on kind of like maybe a positive note because it ends with like a Christmassy scene. Mm-hmm. So it's real good, and you should watch it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't think directors should ever give up because I mean, same thing happened with The Shining, Vertigo, Blade Runner. They were not well received when they first came out, but over time they've developed like a huge
some of the
following
best movies
and some of the best
of film
ever made. In all honesty, and not even that, but even some films that I personally don't like, like get like huge cult followings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people love these films like Space Jam or Hocus Pocus.
And that's why I'm kind of interested to see where the future is gonna put like these movies that we're currently like the present time movies that are here. Some of them are considered classics already. Which ones are going to be the ones that kind of got dug up and kind of entered the fabric of cinema?
I've thought about that too. Even
it's not going to be movies that we expect.
Right. It's kind of like the Star Wars prequels even too. They obviously have a small cult following because of people who grew up with them though too. Sure. Like I honestly think my friend is a little biased. He's a huge Star Wars fan, but I think he likes the prequels because he was born into them. You know, he remembers seeing them as a kid, and he can't disconnect the quality of the film with the experience he had as a kid. I can, which is why I don't like the prequels. So I think about that, and I'm like, does that mean like kids from now, 20 years from now, are they going to say like, wow, the Smurfs, was a great movie? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I hope not.
Same. But, I'm using that as an example, but you get my point.
I get it.
What are they
and it's
going
usually
to do?
Like one part of a movie that can really like change that. Mm-hmm. It's like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
It's like the villain of that movie is like it's like the child. What is it like? He's like a kidnapper. It's like wow, that hits close to home, and that is a good reason for this movie to be so popular. Like for its time or whatever.
True. All right, moving on.
Yeah, it got way
way off. Sorry. No, don't worry about it.
That had tons of half, and it's hard to
it's totally fine. I actually like that because it adds more meat to the podcast. Sure. I was going to add more to it, actually. Like, I was going to say, and it's also curious to see what films are going to fall off of being classics.
That's another.
It's going to be like, what are people going to start not liking? Something like Juno. I don't know. Have you ever heard of the Juno effect?
Yeah, people don't think it's very good now.
Yeah. I wonder what that's going to happen to. Another one is American Beauty. I heard American Beauty. I can see that personally. I'm not a huge fan of American Beauty anymore. When I first saw it, I liked it, but it didn't age well. It's so much a product of its time.
See, I saw that movie a year and a half ago. I still really liked it.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe who knows? Maybe in a couple of years you'll be like,
but, now with the Kevin Spacey thing, maybe people
right.
want to like it.
Right. No, it was actually before that. Like, they made, I saw a video about explaining the Juno effect and, like, and stuff like that. So,
and that movie got brought up?
Yeah, American Beauty got brought up. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Juno anymore either, to be honest with you.
I haven't seen it.
You know what film I hate now? Mm-hmm. Napoleon Dynamite. I cannot stand that film. I should have put that in the film everyone loves but I hate in that list.
That one might drop off then.
I think it might.
You think so?
I think so. I think I've been seeing a lot of people now who are like, yeah, that film was kind of stupid. Like, that film wasn't that great. So that's definitely a Juno effect. Okay, going back to my honorable mentions here. Okay. My next one is Dead Zone. The Stephen King movie with Christopher Walken. Again, snowy atmosphere, kind of like holiday-esque themed. It's about Christopher Walken who develops like psychic abilities, who can like see into the future sort of things, like when people are going to die or get hurt or whatever. So, again, there's something about it. Obviously, like the old grainy 35mm quality, just kind of like it's old-fashioned Stephen King film with the snow and stuff like that. I was like, this is the ice. It's going to break. Okay, Best line of that movie. And I could see people watching it during Christmas.
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm. I got two more honorable mentions, so what's your next one?
Okay, so this one, I can see where people are coming from, why they would put this on there. Mm-hmm. But obviously when I was watching it, I never even considered it. Mm-hmm. And I reviewed it on here, actually. Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes. I could see why, though. I mean, there is some Christmas element.
It's like... it's not only do you see the Christmas decorations in the background and stuff, but it's also like completely opposing what the film kind of represents. And if you think about like Christmas spirit and like love and like family, like togetherness, and then it's like the complete opposite. It's like trying to separate a family or whatever. Yeah, you can consider like a couple of family, I guess. Some people are and stuff like that. But anyway, the separation of two beings, it's like the completely opposite or whatever. And the two of those kind of ideas that kind of enhance the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Kubrick was a master, and he would do that stuff intentionally. That was 100% intentional too.
Yeah, and if I feel like this would be a perfect choice for like nihilists fucking who want to watch a Christmas movie and they're just completely against like Christmas spirit, Christmas music, stuff like that.
Which I personally don't like. I was gonna get into the discussion after our list, but people. I was watching a Double Toasted review recently about the rise of the unconventional Christmas films, and they kept talking about how they were asking why this was happening, and they said because they think that people are starting to realize how phony the Christmas spirit is and how phony this commercialized togetherness is. And I'm like, man, that's such a cynical viewpoint though. And he even went, in my opinion, too far of saying the whole Jesus thing is phony too. We don't know when he was born exactly. And I'm like, no, but we have a day to celebrate it, so what's the problem?
That is 100% a bad move for him.
Yeah.
That's gonna ruin him.
He's like, and he's like, oh, the Jesus thing is phony, and the whole thing of love and peace is too phony for people to really take in all these phony Christmas movies, so blah 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 blah. And I'm like, man, that's such a nihilist, existentialist type, thing to say. It's just.
I don't agree with that, but I will say I don't like Christmassy. I don't like Christmas music. I can't stand it or whatever. Especially there's something about it that's just so fake to me. Christmas music in particular, not the whole Christmas cheer and everything like that. I love having my family together. I wish that I could spend it with my mom and stuff. She's in Florida. But just fuck. There's not a lot of Christmas music out there. I used to work at Second and Charles, and we had a playlist, and they would cycle through music randomly on the playlist or whatever.
Yeah.
And one time I remember, and this just goes to show how little Christmas music there really is out there, when you have my current workplace playing 40 show tunes, because that's the time that really brings out the Christmas mood.
Yeah.
And they played this one song. I can't even remember what it is, if I'm being honest. But that same song played next, and it was done by a different artist.
Oh,
it's are you fucking kidding me?
Well, the thing is, to me, is that I like Christmas music, and I'll tell you why. Is because I don't listen to Christmas music outside of December, the month of December, ever.
Sometimes you don't have a choice when you work retail.
Well, yeah.
Or you go into anywhere retail related.
So it's kind of like a once in a time treat. It's when do you listen to the Monster Mash other than Halloween? It's you listen to these songs for the holidays, and it's I don't get tired of these songs because I only listen to them 1 month out of the year.
Sure. I mean.
And I take umbrage with this whole the Christmas spirit is phony thing. It's honestly the world needs more Christmas spirit. The world sucks now.
Yeah, the world sucks now.
Because of cynicism and pessimism and stuff like that. It's you want to take away the whole thing of Christmas, you want to say Christmas is phony. It's it's people like you, or not you, but it's people like you that who say that ruin the Christmas spirit for people. And honestly, I look forward to Christmas every year because I feel like that's the one time out of the year where the bad shit just sort of goes away for a while. But now, because the world sucks so much, and because of people who say that and stuff, who are all this shit is phony and commercialized, I'm like, okay, if you want to be that pessimistic about it, now you're just ruining it for everybody. You're ruining it for me. You know what I mean? Now it's stop trying to remind me how much the world sucks during a time when, even if it's commercialized, the whole point of the commercialization of the holiday is supposed to be, love one another, Christmas cheer, happiness. It's good. It's good vibes, good spirits.
Yeah. And we need more 40s based Christmas movies, not remade, but fresh content. We need to circulate that into current film.
In its tone. As a filmmaker, I do have a lot of dreams and aspirations. Obviously, one of my biggest goals is to make a Marvel movie. That's one of my all-time dreams. And honestly, one of them, I don't think I've ever told you this, I do want to make a Christmas movie. That's one of my, all-time, things. That's why whenever a Christmas movie comes out, I get so excited. I'm like, please let this one be good. When Joe Johnston was doing the Nutcracker movie, the new one, I was like, come on.
I know.
Be good.
You were kind of looking forward to it,
I was
too.
looking forward to it. I was like, Joe Johnston's doing it. It's got to be good. I love the Christmas spirit. I love, like, the way
Yeah, but
looks.
the whole adventure thing kind of overpowers the Christmas.
Yeah, I think
attitude.
we need to ground Christmas a little more, and that's probably what I would do with the Christmas movie. Yeah. And I'm not dissing on unconventional Christmas movies either, because I feel like they have their place as well.
Sure.
But I feel like you said, you're like, who's gonna put Bad Santa or Office Christmas Party as their favorite Christmas movie? You know, nobody. It's always like A Christmas Carol, It's a Wonderful Life, you know, stuff like that.
Because that's the whole point of it. Now, see, I understand the whole unconventional Christmas movie and like why it exists is because sometimes people watch these movies around Christmas time, and all it takes is that one memory of like, I watched it around that time, and it brings you back there to that moment, and that's sometimes all you need. Sometimes you have to cling to that.
Yeah, and people don't watch this because they think real Christmas movies or the Christmas spirit is phony. You know, they watch it because there's a certain memory that connects them with this.
Yeah, and so
you know?
I'm obviously not going to include this movie on the list, but a movie that I watched, like, I think it was Christmas Eve with my mom, was The Sting. Mm-hmm. And that's always going to transport me back to that time every time I watch it.
You know what's going to transport the kids of tomorrow there as well? And Disney is such a freaking genius for doing this. They released episode 7 on Christmas. So now kids are going to associate Star Wars with Christmas now. So now when
then that last scene, the
snowy scene, dude, I guarantee you, episode 7 years from now is going to be an unconventional Christmas movie. I guarantee it, because it was released during Christmas, and Disney, of course, because they're geniuses, they're marketing geniuses. They marketed and put all the toys out during Christmas as well, and they made Christmas ornaments of all the new Star Wars character. And now, the kids from now got a bunch of toys from episode 7, like they got little BB-8s and Kylo Rens and stuff. Uh-huh. So you know they got the Christmas presents with the Star Wars episode 7 fame.
Do I have to be the one to say that maybe they just wanted to make money because people buy stuff on Christmas?
Oh, of course they want to make money. They're a company, but it doesn't take the fun out of anything. I not to get too political here, I always had a weird thing with like, oh, they're a big company trying to make money, so it's not genuine, so we shouldn't, whatever. And I'm like, okay, but it's fun. It's kind of like the guy who made Escape from Tomorrow, which is a shitty film, and he's like, the whole film was going against Disneyland, saying it's all this commercial property just to take your money, whatever. And I'm like, so it's fun. They're not trying to brainwash me, motherfucker. Like, who the fuck are you to tell me that what I enjoy is wrong?
There's a reason why it's called the happiest place on earth.
Why?
Because
people are happy.
You go there and people are genuinely happy.
They're genuinely happy. I went to
They don't care if they're spending a little bit of money. They've saved up an entire year sometimes just to go to this one place one time.
And that's the thing, is like, oh, Christmas is so commercialized. I'm like, it's awesome. Shut up. It's like, it's fun. I love to go to these things and see like the lights, and I love going downtown and like seeing a bunch of Christmas like themed stuff going on. I love that stuff. I don't care I don't care if the point is to make money. And honestly, I think a lot of people seem to forget that big corporations like are people too. I guarantee you Bob Iger doesn't want to do it just to make money. I'm sure he does it because he loves Christmas as well.
I'm sure, because he has a family as well.
Yes, exactly. It's so people at one point, we're kids too, and they loved Christmas and they loved the spirit as well. That's the world we live in. It takes money to do stuff like that, but it doesn't take away the heart of it all.
Yeah.
So, I totally forgot what we were talking about. But anyway, yes.
Oh, we're talking about Eyes Wide Shut. And
Eyes Wide, yes. All right. Yeah. So Eyes Wide Shut is your honorable mention.
Yeah.
My next honorable mention, I'm just going to breeze past this because I kind of can't remember the movie that well, but it's another Shane Black movie because Shane Black loves Christmas. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Oh, okay.
That takes place during Christmas, has some great comedy, great like noir mystery to it. And also I have this other one here I just want to quickly mention because I've never seen it, but I feel like I should mention it as honorable mentions because I feel like I would enjoy it, is Santa Claus versus the Martians.
All right, then.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but
that sounds like it would be right up. I would like that.
Yeah, so I could see like watching that during Christmas and be like, wow, this is amazing in all the wrong ways. Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Great. Now that is a B movie, that film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just right. It's a double feature with Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, so what else you got? Is that all you got? Or?
That is all I have for honorable mentions.
All right, me too. So it's time for the main list event, baby. It's main event time.
You can just continue going.
All right. Number 5 for me is Krampus.
Okay.
Krampus, directed by Michael Daughtry, who is doing the next Godzilla film, which is why we mentioned him. Krampus kind of is honestly kind of, we had that whole discussion about the Christmas movies and stuff, and like how people think it's all commercialized and phony. This film kind of touches on that with like the beginning of the movie is like Black Friday, and it shows like the Let It Snow, the Let It Snow song, and it's like a really soothing song, but it dollies down to the freaking department store doors that open, and everyone just starts like running around the store like cattle, like in slow motion. So that's interesting because the whole point of the movie is the little kid trying to embrace true Christmas spirit while everyone else is kind of like in the commercialized aspect of it, which is why I kind of give this film a pass, because this film is about embracing the holiday spirit. And for those of you who don't know, Krampus is like the antithesis of Santa Claus. He's like from the German folklore of Santa Claus about he's basically like this like weird monster who like kidnaps kids and puts them in his sack who are naughty and stuff like that. The Germans are messed up. And this film kind of takes that. And it's a very PG-13 horror film. I think it is PG-13 actually. So it's a very light-hearted horror film. Okay. I honestly think it's a horror film that kids could actually watch.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was horror. I couldn't remember.
It is horror, yes. But it's a horror film that honestly kids could actually watch. I think it's very lighthearted. And there's a big Christmas backdrop. And one cool thing this film does is there's a lot of practical effects in this film. Ton of practical effects. There's very minimal CG. But there's some really funny moments in there. I remember seeing the trailer for this film. I'm like, this film's going to suck. And then as soon as I saw the little CGI gingerbread man like attack people, like armies of little gingerbread man, I was like, okay, this is going to suck. But then I saw the film with Brian, actually. Brian mentioned. And it was good. It was a fun time. It was very lighthearted and it was comedic. It's like a horror comedy. And this film is a lot deeper because it is about consumerism and all that, and how that's not what Christmas is about. And semi-mild spoiler alert here, but at the end of the film, like, one of the things is the kid who kind of gets special treatment from Krampus is the only kid who really knows what the Christmas spirit is about. Because everyone else who like views it as like this consumeristic type thing kind of gets like sucked in, except for the kid. The kid's the only one who's like, I know what Christmas is about, and he like faces Krampus one-on-one. So, and Krampus takes a little.
Yeah, even though it does have that cynical thing that you dislike, it's like overcoming that. So
it's overcoming the cynicism.
That's why you like it. And I can see that being perfect for your list.
Yes, it overcomes cynicism, and it's unconventional because it's like horror, and it's kind of scary. So
makes sense.
But it's a good holiday themed horror film, and it's very old fashioned too. It's kind of like a B movie come to life, which I have a special place in my heart for modern day B movies.
Yeah.
For genre films and stuff. So, okay.
All right, so number 5. This is I feel kind of bad about this because it does kind of it's kind of still on that same vein of like it's not really Christmassy. It's only just got like the aesthetic of it in one portion of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel bad about this choice, but not really.
Go ahead.
Princess Bride.
Okay.
Because in reality, it's Christmas time, and he's held up sick in his room and stuff, and you constantly get reminded of that once you're brought back into reality.
Well, even Once Upon a Deadpool, which was just released, is Christmas themed
because he kidnaps
Fred Savage. So there you go.
And yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have the Christmas spirit in it, but it's kind of nice that shared moment between him and his grandfather.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I can kind of see it.
I can see it too. Plus the whole like togetherness and the whimsical quality of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a great movie though. I really like Princess
Bride. It is a
Bride.
great movie. Here's a sad story about me. I saw Princess Bride for the first time like maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved it. So.
About 2 years ago, I showed it to my little brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him into movies and the classics and stuff.
That's awesome, dude.
So had to do it to him.
Sick city. All right, are you done with that one? I guess I got my next one here, which is another Christmas horror film. Now, Christmas horror films, I always feel like it's sort of like a fine line because whenever a Christmas horror film comes out, first of all, I always thought that was the kiss of death with films. I'm like, Christmas horror films are garbage. I saw the remake of Black Christmas, which was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Did you see the original?
I have not seen the original. I heard the original's really good. I didn't even know when I saw the remake that it was a remake. Mm-hmm. But man, that one was bad. I saw that because some dude I was with at the time wanted to see it. And I was like, oh, no.
Kick him to the curb.
I know. I haven't talked to him in over 15 years.
Because right after that movie, right? You
stopped
talking to him.
Yes, actually. I'm not even joking. I'm like, because there was another movie, I can't remember what movie, but I'm like, we should see this. And he's like, but I want to see Black Christmas, though. I'm like, that movie looks awful.
You're too good of a person.
I know. I was really young. I was really, really young when it came out. Might have been in elementary school or something, but that film's fucking stupid. But I heard the original's great.
Okay.
So maybe that film tainted my whole view of Christmas horror films. Obviously, I've never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night, but I always view Christmas horror films as like, is it like a Christmas film or a Halloween film more? Because obviously I like to watch horror during Halloween, and I'm not a huge fan of horror during Christmas because, again, it's the whole cynicism thing. I like to be more joyous during Christmas time. But with Krampus and this next film, they were just too good. The films as a whole were too good.
Sure.
Better Watch Out was actually released last year, believe it or not. So this is a relatively recent movie.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that showing up on lists.
Yes, Better Watch Out is basically like a dark Home Alone. And there's a lot of twists and turns in this story that I just didn't see coming because I saw it. First of all, I saw this in Family Video. I saw this like during Christmas time even. And the girl behind the counter was like, you should watch that. It's a good movie. And then I looked it up and realized it's getting good reviews. And I'm like, a Christmas horror film getting good reviews? I don't know. And I checked it out and I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And bringing up Brian again, I told Brian about it and Brian rented it and he's like, wow, this is actually pretty good. There is some weird dialogue in it. There's like the two parents in the beginning do not talk like real people, which is a big pet peeve of mine in movies when people talk like whatever, but they're barely in the film. They're barely in the film. But it's a reversal of expectation with the Christmas horror trope, with the Home Alone trope, with the home invasion trope, and the babysitter in danger trope. It's a total...
Wait, do they like kill like the whole Home Alone thing? Does it kill the home invaders?
I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll just say this.
Because I think if it does, I think I know what movie you're talking about.
It's what happens is there's home invaders, and for a while you think this is a home invasion movie and a pretty good home invasion movie, but then there's a twist that happens where you realize that the home invaders are not who they say they are, and that there's something more sinister going on, below.
Oh, okay.
And there's a character reversal that happens that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit! Like, damn, son, it's a good movie. You should watch it. There's a lot. It's kind of Hitchcockian. It's kind of Hitchcockian in a sense of all its like twists and turns. It is kind of schlocky, but there's like a really cool element of suspense there, and yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
You'll have to watch it. It's like a dark Home Alone.
If I don't get to it this Christmas season, I might have to do it next Christmas season.
Yeah, there's actually a scene in there that's a direct homage to Home Alone, but instead of it ending in a quirky, like, fun way where, like, the bad guys get up and they brush it off even though they're hurt, no, they die. So, okay. It's kind of fucked up too. Oh my gosh, but it's a good little Christmas horror film.
Okay, then.
One of the better Christmas horror films.
Okay then.
Yes.
Number 4. You already mentioned it, but in particular, I chose Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much everything you said, but yeah, it's just a fantastical family flick with quirky aged effects. And a lot of brightness before the series was enveloped in darkness.
That's true.
And yeah, it's Chris Columbus. So.
It was a cool way to start the series too. I feel like because like you said,
it followed the audience.
It follows the audience as they grew older, and I kind of wonder if Harry Potter is going to age well with people who haven't seen it. because they're not going to grow old with it. You know what I mean? I still love the movies.
I think that it's going to be hard for them to get into it where the series starts.
Yeah, especially
that's the hard part.
Especially because of the age defects and some of the some of it's a little dated now, especially some of that CG.
You got to work past it because man, it really ends very well.
Oh god,
very well.
So good, so good.
It brought a little tear to my eye.
That's one of my favorite film series of all time. Honestly, I think that's one of the only film series, Harry Potter, where every film is like good. Yeah. Every film is like really good. You know,
and given the fact that they were books, like they follow the books pretty well.
They do. They do. They really do. Which is why you should leave it alone. Anyway. Well, I guess if they were going to touch on it, it's good to not touch on that story anyway.
Sure.
If they do an 8th movie with like Daniel Radcliffe, I'd be like, don't.
Please don't.
Why?
Don't. No.
If they do that, I will cry.
Yelling.
I will cry. I'll be like Crystal Skull again. I'll be like, don't do it. Okay, is that all you got for that?
Yeah, I mean, you already.
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of.
No. This is the point of the list, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. All right, my next one, you might think, oh, that's not an unconventional Christmas movie. That's a total Christmas movie, but I disagree, and I'll tell you why. The next one is Rise of the Guardians, the animated movie with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and Jack Frost and whatever. I know you're not the biggest fan of that movie. I love this film. Okay. I think this film is great.
Okay.
And the people are going to be like, oh, this is a total Christmas movie. How is that unconventional? Because there's only one real scene that actually takes place during Christmas. A lot of it takes place during Easter, actually. But obviously the reason it's Christmas is obviously because of its snowy atmosphere, the fact that Jack Frost is the frickin' hero, and it takes place during the wintertime. And Santa Claus is in it. He's one of the heroes in it.
Yeah, so that definitely overpowers any other seasonal-based character like the Easter Bunny and stuff. It's because you have all that Christmas stuff going on.
That's true, but it's kind of like every holiday kind of gets like its own shout-out, like during Easter and during whatever, Christmas and all that, where there's one scene of each. Because, obviously the story revolves around the boogeyman trying to ruin every holiday. Mm-hmm. And I just really like the film. And obviously the Guardians have to stop it. I love the mythology, the mythological element to all these like holiday characters coming together. I think it's an underrated film in all honesty.
Honestly, I just thought it was confusing.
Really?
Kind of weird. Like, it's just kind of convoluted in a way.
Really?
Yeah, I was very, very confused with it. I don't know.
I didn't find it confusing. I thought it was very straightforward.
Maybe I need to rewatch it or something. I don't know.
Yes, it's a good holiday film, and I'm not going to expand on that one too much because it's very obvious why I view it as one of my favorite unconventional Christmas movies. Is because Santa Claus is in it, and there's a lot of Christmas elements to it, but not all of it is Christmas. That's why it's unconventional. So.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Is that it for that?
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Go ahead.
Number 3. Now a lot of people are saying this. They're like against this movie because it's so popular. Like as a not
Yeah. Like
it's just the internet community is like no. But I'm still about it.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun.
It's Die Hard, of course.
I have that sweater. My brother wanted us to get into Christmas sweaters, which I absolutely fucking hate. Sweaters.
Yeah. I don't like sweaters in general.
You feel restricted, dude.
You do.
And they're just itchy.
Oh, they are
the worst.
They are.
So he got me that in hopes that I would start wearing them. Mm-hmm. I really haven't though, and I feel kind of bad.
Is it in your closet right now?
It might be. I don't. I'm gonna take a look.
Oh, he's gonna take a look, folks. He's gonna take a look. He's in the closet. He's looking.
Don't say that.
He's not gonna come out of the closet. Tyler's coming out of the closet.
Honestly, I don't know. You know what it was? If I'm not mistaken, it's like he saw that I wasn't wearing it, and I think he has it.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, I'll wear it then.
Oh, okay. Ho ho ho! I have a machine gun.
Yeah. So you can't. Die Hard's so good, man.
Die Hard is good, and I that's the king of. That's really what really kickstarted the whole unconventional Christmas dialogue. In all honesty, that was the first one. I remember Nostalgia Critic even had the list of top 10 best Christmas films, and he put Die Hard as number 1. And he's like, but Die Hard's not a Christmas film, and he's like, fuck you, it's Die Hard. Okay.
Yeah. But like also to not talk about just the Christmassy aspect of it. Mm-hmm. This was like the heyday for 80s action. it remained grounded.
Yes.
I think above all of those other films, like Van Damme. He's just playing a normal citizen, but he also scales a hockey arena in sudden death. It's like this is a little bit more realistic, which is something that I appreciate.
John McClane is the everyman.
But there's some people that are like, they want that kind of thing. They want like the extraordinary. They want a cook to just be slaying everybody like in that's was it a Steven Seagal film?
On Deadly Ground, maybe? I don't even know.
The one where he's on the boat and Tommy
Under
Lee,
Siege? Under
Yeah,
Siege?
Tommy Lee Jones is the villain.
Yeah, Under Siege, yeah.
Because some people want that. I don't know. I prefer the John McClane thing. He's a great character to root for with his snarky attitude.
It shows how vulnerable he is, too.
Snappy one-liners. And then it opens with a Run DMC Christmas song. It's just kind of hard not to consider this a Christmas movie.
Oh, it's a total Christmas movie, dude. Even the second one, I think, could be considered an unconventional Christmas movie, too.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that.
It's
not as good as the first one.
No, it's not. But, like, yeah, dude, I think it's an unconventional Christmas movie. I would call it a Christmas movie as well. My next film is Lethal Weapon. Shane Black's first foray into the Christmas
He just
spirit.
loves throwing Christmas.
He loves Christmas, dude. He just can't help himself. Even with Iron Man 3.
Yep.
You know, that was a Christmas movie.
And you mentioned Nice Guys, too.
Nice Guys, too.
Those 4 movies right there.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yep,
that's another one. He really loves Christmas. Like, he really does. And I guess that's just his thing, you know? Anyway, this film revolutionized the buddy cop comedy with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. I mean, this film is insanely quotable. The writing of this film is so witty and so great that no other buddy cop film could really touch the formula that well, in my opinion. At least not from that point on, in all honesty. There's a couple that were pretty good, but not really Lethal Weapon good. And obviously this film takes place during Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas in it. It's obviously very subtle. A lot of it's in the background and stuff like that. And there's really no snow, because I think it takes place in Los Angeles, right? I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, but there are some Christmas lights and you know, stuff like that. So I can, and Shane Black's the king of Christmas. I mean, let's just get real, you know. I mean, if you can take Iron Man and throw him in Christmas during the Christmas time, it's like this guy he just can't help himself. And it was funny when I was watching Nice Guys. I watched it and I'm like, wow, no Christmas. And then at the very end, they're all getting ready for Christmas, and I'm like, oh, Shane Black.
Oh man,
Shane Black, you son of a gun.
Did it again.
And then in The Predator, it was Halloween, which was odd. I was like, what? And I was like, what's going on? He really loves holidays.
Yeah.
He really loves holidays, but he loves Christmas the most.
I think they accompany the movies pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Because like he doesn't make an overtly Christmas film. He makes a film just always centered around Christmas.
Sure.
So it doesn't take away from the film, but it is an element of the film for sure.
Which you can do for pretty much any type of movie. Just like, oh, hey, Merry Christmas or whatever. Oh yeah, you just throw that in there, and it's automatically just kind of adds that to it.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure.
And then if you make it into a horror movie or whatever, and people are dying, it's like, oh man, this had to happen to you guys on Christmas. Then it makes you empathize with them a little bit more, maybe. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's your number 2.
That's my number 2.
My number 2 is a bit of a strange choice. In Bells of St. Mary's.
Is that a Spike Lee movie?
No, this is a classic Hollywood film.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like an offbeat White Christmas. It even has Bing Crosby in it.
Okay.
So it also has Ingrid Bergman in it.
Oh, nice.
They play 2 rivals that have to join forces to save their school from shutting down before Christmas time, and it's not really exactly like always Christmas time, because it's like sometimes takes place months before Christmas, but it leads up to that type thing. So that's why it's not exactly a Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. It's a really solid deep cut golden age Hollywood film, and if I remember correctly, it was nominated for Best Picture during its time, but it didn't win. Okay. You should definitely watch it though.
Yeah, dude, I'll add that to my list. My ever expanding list.
Yeah, it was on Netflix. It's not anymore.
Son of a bitch.
Netflix, dude.
Why
get your shit together.
I know, for real, dude. Come on, Netflix.
I mean, like, it's weird because like movies like that probably don't have a lot of struggle with like licensing stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no reason why you should take that off.
Netflix is just an odd business model, man.
I don't get it, man.
I don't get it.
It's like, what, you want to take it off so people would be motivated to watch it a little quicker?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do that, then this is one thing that I just a criticism on Netflix. They have, if you click on each movie, it tells you within like 15 days it's leaving this day or whatever. And it's like, why not make an entire list of that so I can see what movies are leaving?
Yes.
So I know which ones to watch.
That'd be great, like leaving soon.
I don't, because I have to go every, since it's 15 days, I do this twice a month. I go through every Netflix movie that I have on my list, and I click on them individually to see if any of them are leaving. That sucks ass.
Yes.
Please change that.
Yeah, for real. Come on, Netflix, get your shit together. I've lost a couple films on my list. Like on my list or whatever, because I just
You didn't even notice it.
Because I didn't even notice it.
Yep.
Sucks. Anyway, so that's your number 2?
That's my number 2.
My number 1 is ho ho ho, I have a machine gun.
And you never even smiled the whole time. I'm like, I was trying to read you. I'm like, does he have this on this list? Like, I can't tell.
Right. Yeah, no, look at that. I learned.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. I'm adapting. Yeah, dude, this film was a total Christmas film. Total Christmas film. I love it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I mean, ho, 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 yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Oh, this is such a classic film. I mean, what can I say that already hasn't been said about Die Hard? I mean, I love the fact that, like you said, it's a real guy doing something that's practical and real, in all honesty. It gets a little crazy when he ties the fire hose to himself and jumps off the roof.
That's about as crazy
but that's as crazy as it gets. Like, and in the fourth one, which I'm a little bit of a defender of the fourth one, in all honesty, but in the fourth one, it does totally go away with that when he's fucking chasing down a jet. You know, and shit.
Oh, yeah, he, like, jumps off of it or something like that onto, like, the semi-truck. And it's like, come on, man.
It's like, that's totally against what Die Hard was about, but it was fucking awesome, though. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, but yeah, dude, I love the fact that this film takes place during Christmas. It adds, like, an interesting backdrop, and honestly, like you said, with the Eyes Wide Shut, it adds sort of an antithesis to it. And in all honesty, who directed Die Hard? Was it It wasn't James McTeague. What's his name? I need to look this up now.
Okay. Sorry, I can't help you there.
No, it's okay. Basically, what I think, it was actually kind of John McTiernan, not James McTeague.
Yeah.
John McTiernan. The names, dude. It's the McTees. James starts with a J, John starts with a J, and then they both have a McT last name. Mm-hmm. Come on, Cudden. So, Anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah, it was like a practical decision by the director, I think, because they just needed a reason for everyone in the building to be in one room. They're like, all right, let's just set it during Christmas, and they're having a Christmas party sort of thing, you know. So it kind of just was a practical decision on that part. But little did they know that years later, it'd become the best unconventional Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah, I think it's more widely associated with Christmas than it is, like, 80s action.
Yeah, exactly. And they're actually showing it. I'm looking it up right now. The Landmark Main Art Theater is showing it for Christmas.
For Christmas, yeah. They play it all the time there, if I'm not mistaken.
So, there you go, dude.
Yeah, I think there's a Fathom event that was, like, either last year or it's coming this year that they play it, too.
There you go.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Ho, ho, ho.
Great choice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Hell, yes.
Brother. So, is that's your number 1?
That's my number 1, baby.
My number 1.
Unconventional. Let's see. What is it?
It is The Apartment.
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Is that by
Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine?
Yeah.
It takes place around the holidays. It has a Christmassy scene. It has a New Year's scene.
Okay.
Jack Lemmon's character rents out his place to his bosses to impress them, but what they're doing is they're having sex with women.
Okay.
They're cheating on their wives and stuff.
Oh, damn.
It's like, okay, so you rents it out so they have a place to chill and stuff. Why not just get a hotel?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, so that was kind of like a weird thing to do in like the 60s, because it was like 1960, I think, that it came out.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's a big turning point to have that just out there in the open.
Yeah.
And then Lemon meets Shirley MacLaine, and they start to gain like a friendship to keep them warm during the lonesome holiday season.
Nice.
And it's beautiful. And the ending of that movie is, in my opinion, one of the best endings to a movie. So you should absolutely watch
I
this
really
movie.
gotta see it then. I really
It's
want
so
to see
good. It's so fucking cute. I love it.
All right, dude. That's what I like about it. That's what I like about Christmas. By the way, I have a retro. I just thought of something. I have a retroactive honorable mention.
Okay.
Rudolph and the Shiny New Year. I just watched this on TV. I didn't even know there was a sequel to Rudolph, but there is a sequel to Rudolph.
I didn't know that either.
Yes, and it does not take place during Christmas. It takes place during the New Year's, and it's about Rudolph trying to find the new Father Time. Trying to help Father Time find Baby New Year in order to become the new Father Time, because it's basically like passing of the torch. Mm-hmm. And if they don't find new Father Time, it will be December 31st forever. And at the same time, there's Eon, who's a vulture who lives for an eon, who's going to die.
Fuck?
Yeah, who's going to die on January 1st. So what he's trying to do is also kidnap Baby New Year, so Rudolph never finds him, so he never becomes Father Time, so that it will be December 31st forever.
So he'll never die.
So that Eon can live forever.
Oh,
this is a Rudolph
man.
movie, dude.
Holy shit.
That's an awesome plot.
That is an awesome plot.
Yeah, and it's like, holy crap, dude. I was
A
like,
Rudolph movie
damn.
that doesn't take place during Christmas? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's Rudolph Shiny New Year, and it was dope. I loved it.
It's dope.
And also, the designs for the characters, I think, are better than the first Rudolph, because in the first Rudolph, which I love that movie, Santa Claus was kind of looked weird. Like, he had, like, black eyes with, like, no pupils and, like, skinny legs, and it was just kind of odd.
And it looks like they use, like, cotton balls for,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. In this film, it's freaking, like, he looks like Santa Claus, and Red Skelton is Father Time, and I'm like, oh, shit, okay.
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 It's, yeah.
Yeah,
That's weird. And that actually goes along with the conversation that we just had about animation just getting better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so there you go.
Rankin Bass, baby.